Hi there, this is Mr. Dunaway, and I'm going to teach how to play a game. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. This video, we'll keep it short, but I'd like you to go through this. If I write it down, you write it down. We're going to do a simulation game, and then when you come to class tomorrow, or next time I see you, hopefully you'll be able to just step right in and play the game. So what you have here is, this is a game called Coordinate Battleship. You might have done something like this before. It's a pretty simple game, especially if you've ever played the game Battleship. It's based on that game right there. Here's how it works. You have 5 boats. Here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first boat has 5 circles, then 4, 2, 3 circles, and then a boat of 2 circles. And you are going to place them on your game board, and then your opponent is going to try to hit them by guessing points and sink your ships. At the same time, you're going to fire shots back and try to sink their boats. Well, you got 2 sides, so let me explain the game board here. The left-hand side is the offense record, okay? So that is your opponent's boats. So we'll say this is their boats. In other words, these are my missiles. And it's important that you keep a record of both your missiles and your opponent's missiles. What I would suggest you do on this side is your opponent is going to be shooting, you are going to be shooting at them. These are my missiles, my shots. So I would suggest you let a circle represent a miss. Okay? And an X is going to represent a hit. All right, so let's review. You are firing when you're on this side. If you hit one of his boats, you put an X. If you miss it, you put a black dot. It's important that you keep this record for yourself so you don't call the same point twice. All right, and then let's look at the other side of the grid here. This is the defense record. Okay, this is where you're going to put your boats. So I'll call this my boats. Okay, his shots. When he fires at you, this is where you're going to record it. But we have to begin the game by you placing your boats on the defense record. So you have a boat of 5 circles. Now, what I would do is use solid dots. It's just a little easier to see. So these are your boats. So there's one of my boats. 5 circles in a row. You cannot go diagonal. Okay, so that's this boat up there. You've got a boat with 4 circles. You can place them wherever you want. I'm just randomly placing them down. You've got 2 boats with 3 circles. I'm going to put one on the axis right there. I'll put another one on the axis down here. So you've got a 5, a 4, 2 3s, and a 2. And again, you place your boats. When we play this game in class, you'll place your boats wherever you want. I think I mentioned this, but I didn't write it down. We are going to use just an X to represent all of his shots, his or her shots on my grid for this side over here. All right, so let's do a pretend game here, and you just copy it down and see if you can follow along, and hopefully, again, we can get started quickly in class. Let's pretend that I go first. Okay, so I'm going to take a shot. And I'm just going to pick a coordinate. Now, before we go on any further, let me remind you how to graph, because that's what this is about. It's plotting points. The first number is the x-axis, which is this one. So that value is left and right. The second value is the y, that's up and down. Okay, so let's pretend that I call the point 3, -2. All right, and let's say that he says miss. So what I want to do is from the origin, this is the origin point right here. This is how we graph points. We start at the origin. That means I'm going to go to the right 3 and I'm going to go down 2. So I go right 1, 2, 3, down 2, 1, 2. And let's say it was a miss. That's what I said, right? 3, 2. So I'm going to put a dot right there because on this side, again, circles are misses, X's are hits. All right, now that was my shot. These are my missiles. Now, it's his turn. It's your opponent's turn now to fire. And let's say that they say, how about 4, 3? Okay, so I'm from the origin. I'm going to count to the right 4. And since that's a positive number, I'm going to go up 3. So from here, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, up 3, 1, 2, 3. And let's say that he, well, that's clearly a miss, right? So I put it, oh, it doesn't matter. All the shots on this side are X. So I would say to my opponent, I would say that's a miss, okay, because it's not hitting one of my boats. If it hits a boat, then you say hit. Now it's my turn again. Let's say, let's try a really hard one here. How about -5, 3? Let's say I call that and he says hit. All right, that's good news. So from the origin, I count -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count up 3. 1, 2, 3. He said hit, which is an X. So at -5, 3, I put an X because that's a hit. So what I'm going to do next, little strategy advice here, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to call one of the points that sits around this X until I can sink that boat. Because in the end, what we'll say, whoever has the most hits would be the winner. Okay, and you want to sink those boats to get more hits. Okay, one more example, and then hopefully it'll all make sense to you. Now let's say that it's his shot, and I'll show you what would happen if he, let's say that he calls, what is this point? How about 0, -7? Well, since that first number is left-right, and I go 0 left-right, that means I don't go left-right from here, but I go down 7. -7. So from here I'd go -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I would say hit. I would say that to my opponent, and then we would just continue that game, and at the end of the time, whoever has the most hits would win. This is basically a classic Battleship game, just played with a little math twist. It gives us a reason to play Battleship in class. So I hope that makes sense to you. Bring these notes back to class, and we will see you soon.